right, I am back, guys, and we've got a lot of UFO news to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please like and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Yeah, that's right. I am back from the country of Georgia, the former Soviet state of Georgia, where my wife and I spent a whole month there, and we came back with a baby boy. So thank you so much, Georgia. We had a very interesting experience there. It's an interesting place. I didn't make any headway finding out the real truth of the elongated skull people or the Korahora shaft in the Caucasus Mountains, but we did have a really interesting time. I love the old town. It was really cool. I'm sure I'll be talking more about Georgia later, but let's get into the UFO news, guys. We've got an UFO over Israel shooting down rockets over Israel, guys. Iran is launching rockets over Israel, and what happens? We get this really interesting craft here that appears to be shooting down these rockets. Now, here it appears to be like a V shape, kind of a triangular shape, if indeed that is the object in question and it's not some other object. But I believe that is the object that people are talking about that is shooting these missiles down. If that's true, it really kind of appears to be shape shifting. It's all these lights together, and then it is this one object. But there's a lot of, compression and probably a lot of video artifacts. It's hard to tell for sure what we're looking at here. But this is super intriguing footage of some unknown object shooting down missiles over Israel. So what is this thing? Is this man-made? Is this a TR-3B, something like that? Is this, alien or non-human in origin? Is this people from Atlantis coming along to shoot down these craft? My mind leans toward, secret military stuff, either from Israel or the U.S. I think that's probably what we're looking at here, is some of the secret alien tech that we ourselves have. And of course, Brigadier General Haim Eshed, co-founder of the Israeli space program, was saying some pretty wild stuff just a couple of years ago, talking about the Galactic Federation of Planets and how beings were working with world governments. And, there were a lot of people in the governments that knew about the Galactic Federation, including then President Donald Trump, who was going to come out and announce this to the world. Obviously, that didn't happen. Haim Eshed says he was talked out of it at the last minute. Ross Coulthart actually corroborated that story, saying that he wasn't talked out of it, that he was actually threatened out of it. Now, I'm very skeptical of that story. As juicy of a story as that is, I think that would be such a 180 from Trump's public stance on UFOs at that time. And he's kind of gradually warmed up to the topic and is more open about it than he was originally. But that would have been such a 180 pivot from his stance at the time. I think that if he was tempted to come out and announce all of that to the world, then he probably would have gradually led up to it a little bit more than he had at that time. So, as juicy as the story as that is, I'm skeptical of it. But we definitely, there are elements of the control group that know about the beings and that are working with the beings, and we definitely have our own tech. And this may very well be an example of it. I'm not sure what to make about this seemingly shape-shifting craft, but that, again, could just be video compression or video artifacts. Either way, very interesting. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. And we've got lots more going on, including a tweet from Arrow, who says the Joint Chief General Administrative Message also directs the military services in combatant commands to transfer all data from UAP incidents, incursions, and engagements, as well as any recovered UAP objects and materials. That's right, Arrow is actually talking about crash retrievals. Now they're just saying the Joint Staff General Administrative Message directs these files to be released, but at least Arrow is talking about crash retrievals in alien technology. I thought that was at least a little bit significant. I don't expect anything to come from it, but who knows? Who knows? But they were talking about transferring data about UFO crash retrievals. Meanwhile, Yuri Geller is saying that the cause of his abilities may be alien in nature, that he was actually hit by an alien beam in childhood. And here he is talking about it, the short version, from his tweet. Friends, this is shocking. Could I have finally discovered the key to my powers? I have told the story countless times about how I was hit in the forehead by a mysterious laser beam type of ray when I was playing in the garden next to my home in Tel Aviv at the age of about 4, 5, or 6. I describe it in detail in most of my books. It was so powerful and tangible that it knocked me into the grass. My mother thought I was either making the story up or had dreamt it. But it definitely happened, and many years later, an eyewitness, an Israeli Air Force officer who saw the incredible event, came forward. He describes it in a documentary titled Being Yuri Geller, and in Yuri Geller, a life stranger than fiction. When I got zapped, this was right before I first experienced my powers. Well, I have just had an MRI scan of my brain, and the results show a strange anomaly. It is clear from the scan that there is a mysterious shape in my brain. The doctors told me that whatever it is harmless. But wow, could this have triggered my abilities? Was it the catalyst? Was it planted there by an out-of-this-world force all those years ago? Then, of course, Gary Nolan has talked about experiencers having, interesting parts of their brain. I'm going to mispronounce it, so I'm not going to attempt it at the moment. But the caudate putamen, I said that right. I totally said that right. But yeah, that it's denser in experiencers, or at least the ones that he has studied. And it almost looked like scar tissue when he first studied it. It was very dense, and he believes that these are people that may have heightened abilities in some ways. And I'm thinking, of people like Chris Bledsoe, who can communicate, at least on some level, with the beings and even receive communication from those beings. And this has been demonstrated live on camera, where he had a bunch of equipment strapped to his head while he was summoning in these UFOs, Chris Bledsoe. And they were actually able to detect the communication part of his brain lighting up. Not the giving communication part, but the receiving communication. All caught on camera live on an episode of Beyond Skinwalker Ranch. I want to say it was episode 8 of season 1. Great episode. Highly recommend it, if only for that one part, which was just jaw-dropping. Amazing that has been able to be corroborated, this actual interaction in his brain. So I don't know what is going on with Yuri's brain, if he actually did get zapped by a UFO when he was 5 years old, and that's what led to his abilities. But very interesting that this has been detected in the MRI. That was just super fascinating. Meanwhile, Ross Coulthart is talking about these two guys who started off trying to study cancer and ended up studying UFOs. And this is some of what they are getting. Check it out. These, they look like Tic Tacs or Foo Fighters, whatever they are. These two brothers, these researchers, have been able to get these things on camera. It's just fantastic. And the way they came about studying this stuff is really interesting too. Let Ross tell us how this came about.
Ross, tell me more about these brothers, John and Jerry Tedesco. I hope I'm saying that right, because they turned research into cancer clusters on Long Island into a search for UFOs, and I'm trying to make the connection here.
Well, g'day, Marky. Nice to talk to you. What happened
Okay, anytime Ross says good day, I love it.
was they were looking at cancer clusters because they'd had friends who'd passed, and they were interested in using their science skills as trained engineers to try to study for contaminants in the air. And they built a vehicle, a mobile laboratory with cameras and detection gear. But while they were doing their building, the ODNI, the Director of National Intelligence, came out with their report on UAPs. And so John and Jerry decided to look at UAPs instead, UFOs. And they located themselves off Long Island, standing on a beach on Long Island, looking out into the air corridor that's probably one of the busiest air corridors in the United States, the approach and departures route for JFK coming into New York.
Yeah, so that's how they started looking at this air corridor, and you can see some of the footage they were able to get. Just fantastic stuff. I love it. I am very intrigued by these UFOs that are appearing in this, high traffic air corridor. Are these, dragons? Why are they in this heavily trafficked area? What are they doing? Are they surveilling, planes coming and going? That's really intriguing. They don't even seem to care if they are caught on camera. They are in this highly visible, highly public place, just waiting for somebody to come along, like these two brothers, and catch them on camera. So, I would love to hear your thoughts on, what they are doing in that high traffic air corridor. Either way, kudos to those two brothers for getting this to us. And I can't wait to see what more is uncovered through their research. Really, really cool stuff. Meanwhile, this is making the rounds. Okay, we got more Bigfoot, guys. We got Bigfoot, potentially, in Oklahoma. So what do you think? Is this actually...
The following video has gone viral.
Yes, okay, we got music playing. Okay, but yeah, we got a possible Bigfoot. I say possible. I think that Bigfoot is blurry, so this may be too clear to be actually Bigfoot. But you never know. Bigfoot just kind of chilling, hanging out under a tree, chewing on some grass, having some deep thoughts, maybe reading a book. Hey, maybe he's reading one of my books. Go grab one of my books. There's a few of them behind me. If you can see those, I'll link in the description. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I get that in on a still image of Bigfoot sitting down reading a Jack Connor novel. That would be pretty cool. But look at that. Okay. I'm going to say this has got to be fake. This has got to be BS. I don't think that's what Bigfoot looks like. But hey, let me know if you think this is legit. If you think that smiling face was actually Bigfoot. Look at that. Look at that. I don't think so. I think that's a guy in a mask. But I do believe in Bigfoot. Bigfoot is out there and he is real. And he is not just some lost primate, however. He is paranormal or quantum or, from another reality or a parallel dimension or different planet, whatever he is out there and he is in contact with the occupants of UFOs. There have been numerous sightings of Bigfoot interacting with beings from UFOs and even Bigfoot being on UFOs themselves. So is Bigfoot a hybrid creation like the Nazca mummies? Like potentially us? That's kind of where my mind goes, but I'm also open to maybe, maybe he's from a parallel Earth. Maybe he evolved, in a way that we could have evolved, or, one of our cousins could have evolved on Earth if Earth had gone a little differently. Who knows, guys? Who knows? Let me know your thoughts on Bigfoot in the comments below. Meanwhile, I thought this was really encouraging. This was really cool. Okay. This is, from a month ago. Let's see. Eric Weinstein was asked by Piers Morgan that whoever wins the election, what is the most important thing the U.S. could do that would significantly transform the United States for the better? Weinstein replied, disclosure. UFO disclosure. That's what Eric Weinstein says is the most important thing that could be accomplished in the election. This is going from one of the most famous or infamous UFO skeptics of all time. Now he's saying this is the most important thing that could be accomplished. That's huge, guys. We are winning the battle. We are winning. And Eric Weinstein is winning also by coming to this realization that this is so important. And he's absolutely right. Meanwhile, more thoughts on the new hearing, the UFO hearing, coming up very shortly from Robert Garcia. He says, I don't know if that matters. Okay. All right. Interesting. Hot take, Robert. But yeah, so Matt Laszlo catches up to him and he says, you're on the House Oversight Committee. Know about this fall's UAP hearing? Key Garcia. I'm hearing about it, Garcia says, but we've heard nothing official yet. Matt Laszlo says, November 13th. Garcia says, oh, okay. Matt Laszlo says, and I guess Representative Nancy Mace is going to be chairing it. Garcia says, I'm aware that there's going to be possibly a hearing and that she was going to chair it, but we haven't gotten any details about it yet. Is it good, the hearings after the election? I don't know if that matters. So that's where that's coming from. I think we should have another hearing. So whenever that hearing is, it'll be good. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad that he's positive about it and that he thinks that it's necessary and that we need another hearing and that it'll be good. I'm personally glad that it's coming after the election. I wish it were coming further after the election. I think that's, right on the heels of the election. That's all anybody is going to be talking about. I would love it if it were a few weeks later, let that digest a little bit and then give the people something new to think about. Instead of what's actually going to happen right after the election. Everybody's going to be consumed by that. They're not going to be caring about UFOs. So I think that's an unfortunate time for this to come out. But hey, it is what it is. And like Garcia says, whenever it comes out, it's going to be good. So there you go. There's my UFO roundup for today. So let me know what you think about it all in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the like button and the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below. Or like Bigfoot says, buy one of my books. See the link below. I am a novelist. If you like science fiction or fantasy or horror, you might like some of my books. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, back in the US. See you next time.